Welcome to Senior Living Investment with Emily Bow. Today, I am pleased to introduce Celeste Samonte, a dedicated real estate investor. Celeste has been diligently building her portfolio, currently only 5 properties with a total of 22 units. And with her property generates an average of cash flow of over $2,000 per property. Celeste also runs a property management company as well as an acquisition firm. It's inspiring to see Celeste's progress within just 1.5 years. Welcome to the show, Celeste.
Hi everyone. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate it.
How did you manage to accomplish all of this within just 1.5 years?
That even surprises me. So my driving force was really when back in January 2022, my husband suffered a massive heart attack then. After he recovered from his coma, we just realized what's important to us. What important is just really we have to seize the moment, enjoy every day with the family and the people that is important to you. We've explored other businesses before. We've had a shipment business. We've produced comedy shows from, local Filipino artists. We produced that. I even cooked food and sold it to Filipino stores. I've made jewelry and sold that to like exhibits and stuff like that. I've been constantly like trying to see what works. Money there is good, but then you have to do it yourself. Like it's a physical effort that you have to do. And it's just something that we can't. After having adopted the kids, we now have 4 kids. And then after my husband had a heart attack, I couldn't really see myself doing that physically. So we had to track back and look at finances and look at the other opportunities over there. And we saw that real estate is the way to go because that's where we're going to have like passive incomes. That's where it really started. Just after that life-changing event that what happened to my husband, it just propelled us to like, we gotta move on. We gotta do whatever it is that we have to do in order for us to reach our financial goals. So that was back in 2022 of January.
That's amazing. Yeah. And you are able to already acquire like 5 properties and each cash flow like 2,000 per property, which is the outlier from those buy and hold investors. The reason why I want to invite you to this show because I'm very inspired by the fact that you have a property dedicated to senior transitional living, which is the first time I heard this term. Can you explain what that entails? Like what kind of clients this senior transitional living host and why there is a demand for this?
Okay, so senior transitional living are those seniors that has been hospitalized. Then they just have to go back to their family living, their home living. So that facility is where they try to stand again and walk again and be able to be more independent. So they only stay there for a few months or so until they're ready enough to go back to their houses. So that's what they call it transitional. And there's a huge demand for it because there are 76 million baby boomers that are retiring. In 2020 alone, there was 3.6 million that retired. And then where are they going to go? Not a lot of them have families, not a lot of them have kids. And depending on what state you are, there's not a lot of senior living in there. Massachusetts is one. The area that I am in is one. The person that I'm actually working with, I'm constantly looking for properties here in Massachusetts for them to open up because right now I'm looking for 3 because they're looking for 3 cities in Massachusetts that they want some help with that. And I don't see it going down because of the plenty of baby boomers that we have. And the reason I actually wanted to transition to this is because I don't only see it as a real estate opportunity for me to have more money and stuff. It's one way of me helping other people too. So the reason I am in real estate is because I want to help people too. So short term, midterm, that generates a lot of income. But then who am I helping there? Obviously, I'm helping myself. I'm an investor, so I needed money to invest more. But with me trying to rent out to facilities like this, I'm not only helping them, I'm helping their families transition to a more sustainable kind of living. The quality of life is what I'm really going for. When I interviewed the company, I asked them what's the mission and vision, understanding that they do want to help too. They get grants from the government, and it's not that much. So this is just one way of me giving back as well to the community.
I love that. Do you know what kind of patient they tend to host? Is it from more like a skilled nursing home, memory care, or from hospitals? That's the qualification of a patient who can be qualified to stay there, or they're mostly get the pay from the government grant, or there are also private pay patients.
As far as I know, this company that I work with, they're from the hospitals. And some of them are from senior care who has like early onset of dementia. They still want to be independent. They can still live on their own. It's not like an end stage dementia. So most of them are coming from a hip injury that needs assistance on how to get by in their house. Like what I said with the dementia. So they're just trying to make sure that they can go on their own before they transition over to their own houses. I don't think they're coming in from other senior houses. It's mainly they come from hospitals and families that are wanted to make sure that they're going to be okay coming back home.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really smart business model because if the patient pays for the rates at hospital, it'll be very expensive and they may not be able to get the help, really helping them to transition to going back to their own house and utilize this kind of service. The senior transitional living is prepare them to be independent again after they are released from the hospital. So also mentioned that now you're actively looking for some other properties within your area and to open up more senior transitional living facilities. And with regard to that, I'm curious, what's their vacancy rate? Is it always full? And do they have a full pipelines of clients that are waiting to move into the senior transitional living?
Because company, they already have people on the wait list. So we're just looking literally for a place for them to house them. If the room is big enough, they can put two people in there, but they're generally just wanting one person in the room because again, they want that independence. It's not really for them to be social or anything like that. It's more of like working independently. But yeah, so they already have a wait list. So they're just looking for places, which is, I think, is great in a way because there's growth in there, but actually a little bit sad too because there are people waiting that be housed and they're staying wherever at the hospital or wherever they are, just waiting for them to be home. If anyone out there has properties, I can facilitate the rental, the transition. So reach out to me and we'll work together with that. We're looking in the Worcester area, we're looking in the Springfield area, and the East Longmeadow area. So those are the three areas that he already has pipelines on it. He is talking to the government. I think he got approved already, and or he's waiting for some approval. He also want to help people in the foster care once they reach 18, they are taken out of the foster care system. So he wants to help that age range between 18 to 25, house them for a little bit. Once they're ready to rent out their own house, they can transition to that. So it's really great that I found this company because they not only deal with seniors, it's really like an ongoing process of them helping other people.
This is amazing. How did the company come across your property?
Yeah, so I list my properties on everywhere. Apartments.com, Zillow, Airbnb, VRBO, everywhere. You can even on PadSplit. PadSplit is not here in Massachusetts yet, but still I listed there. So they found me on Zillow, and they said they find a lot of properties in Zillow, and so that's where they found me. They called me, and then it just so happened that I have a viewing on a Sunday morning. And so they showed up and then they expressed interest already. And then by Tuesday, we were signing contracts. And that's how fast it was. Obviously, I did other tenant screening and everything. It's a great, you want to buy a house, where do you go? You go to Zillow. A lot of people go to Zillow than Redfin because, Zillow has been there forever. So not a lot of people know that you can find rentals in Zillow, but yes, you can find rentals in Zillow. And this is where they found me. too. So
I love it. And it also shows how resourceful that you are. Like people get into midterm rental or short-term rental or co-living, their first question is, can I find tenants? But I think from our conversations that we have, you have just been putting your rental properties everywhere and just all the resource that you can think of. Thank you. And would you share with us what the cash flow look like on this property to you?
cash flow. So the cash flow for this property is 22,250 every month. That's me hands. I don't want to say hands off, but they have their own property management, so I don't need to do anything. The only thing I need to do there is the maintenance for the heating system every year, which is not which is not much. It's like 150 to 200, and that's every year. And they do the lawn, they take care of all the utilities, whatever maintenance it is. I put it in the contract that if a maintenance is 500 below, they will cover it. Everything above that, I would cover. Yeah, so that's how we structure our contract that way.
I love
Yeah.
it. This is already a gem here. Write it in your contract that everything below $500, the renter is responsible for it. I love it. Thank you for mentioning basically the contract that you had with this company. Does this compare to your other rental types in terms of the pros and cons?
So midterm rentals, I do midterm rentals with companies and with individuals as well. Obviously, renting to companies is better than renting to individuals because individuals or families and anyone above 18, you have to do the tenant screening, all that background check and that. So with renting to companies like the senior living, you don't need to do all that. It's just, research the company, you get referrals, references, check the government if they're really accredited, and that's it. Just mainly the tenant screening is one big thing for me. You have to really work on it. You have to be on the phone, call a lot of people. Yeah, so living is the same. Short-term rental, if you list it on short-term rental, VRBO or Airbnb, they do the screening for you. So the turnover is what it is. When you're renting to companies like this, midterm, you do shorter turnovers. And with this, you don't even do turnovers because it's just, obviously renting short-term is, if it's rented 80 to 100% at a time, it's wonderful. The cash flow would be in the, in the triple digit. But again, the turnover, the people you have to talk to, and you have to be like really hands-on on it. That's why I like this way. I still am managing it, but not everything.
And how long of a lease have you signed with the company?
2 years.
With a fixed rent for 2 years?
Fixed rent for 2 years. We can increase after, or if they want to again renew the lease. And they actually love the property so much, they put in the clause, if ever we're selling it, that they will that we have to consider their offer first. If right now it's a good property for us, so we're keeping it. So I'm a buy and holder, so I try to keep as much properties as I have if the cash flow is there.
What factors make your property suitable for this senior transitional living?
So with this particular one, it's in a cul-de-sac, a little quieter area. It's close to the buses. It's close to grocery. It has a lot of rooms, which was the enticing part on them. It has 6 bedrooms, 2.5 bathroom, semi-finished basement, and it has an office that can be changed, that can be transitioned into a bedroom. It's a beautiful old house. So the stairs are wider, not the teeny tiny stairs. So it's wider because they have to do a modification on the stairs with a chairlift. Obviously, it's elderly people. So we do the modification for that. And I think it's just the square footage of the house. It's 3,000 square feet with a lot of rooms. So yeah. And most of my other houses, they're situated wherein it's close to the hospital or close to the school, close to other facilities, walkable to like some shops, and has a park nearby. So those are the properties. So if there's a Starbucks nearby, it's a good place for us because we know that there's people going there, buy drinks and stuff.
So are ample parking space requirements for this kind of housing?
I would think so, but again, their residents don't drive.
Okay.
So it's mainly visitors. If visitors come or they are their maintenance crew. And this particular property that we have, it has ample parking. It has a huge backyard too. They can open the side door and then park on that way too. So they can park, since it's a cul-de-sac, they can park on the street as well. There's ample parking. The parking itself could have like 8 to 10, and then on the side they can still park too.
You mentioned that there is some modification is actually was made to your property to accommodate the seniors' need. And do you provide this kind of renovation cost, or they do it? And what will happen if they stop the lease and then you have to rent it out to someone else? What will happen to all those modifications that they have done to this property?
We put it in the contract that they can do modifications at their own risk and using their own money. So whatever modification they do, they can do it. Then when the turnover comes and the lease is ended and they don't want to renew, they have to put it back the way they rent, the way I delivered it. So they take out the chairlift. If the stairs got damaged because of the installation of it, they have to fix it. Like everything else in the property, it's the same.
Okay. Okay. So basically, if they were to end the lease and they give the property back to you, they have to put it back to the original condition.
Yes. Yeah.
That's great. You have done all different type of rentals, midterm rental, short-term rental, co-living, even arbitrage, and now this senior living. What kind of advice would you give to someone who wants to start their own rental portfolio?
So we started the conventional way, because that's all we know. Using your W-2 to purchase a property, taking HELOC from your own property, and buying property that way. But there's a lot of stuff that you can now do to be able to acquire that. You can, like, arbitrage. If you don't own a house, but if you know of someone that's not living in their house, they're on vacation or they're retired, they don't want their house anymore, you can actually talk to them and say, hey, I can rent this house for you at whatever amount you want, with the understanding that you will be renting that property as well. Again, this is state to state. You have to make sure that your state allows this or your city allows this, and if they are okay with you renting it out to a facility. Because again, there's going to be like the wear and tear, the insurance, the neighborhood, if it will affect the neighborhood one way or another. So you have to check the city if it's okay for you to have that kind of rental in that area. But yeah, that's one way for you. It's no money. It's not going to cost you a lot of money to rent out a place because you're not buying the house, right? So that's arbitraging it. You're just renting it out and then you're renting it to another property. So I can help you with that because I do arbitrage as well. That's one thing. And if you already have a house and then you want to, if the cash flow is there, you can rent out another property if you're just living on your own, and rent out your house and do it that way. Because you will get the money back. And then once you get your cash flow and then it works, you can have more money for a down payment. And I think arbitrage works. Arbitrage has worked with us a lot of times, and then it's given us good cash flow, and we're able to buy more properties doing that. But then again, if you have a W-2 and you can't really manage it, you can partner with someone who's already been doing this, and then this conversation between each other, you can partner with that depending on how the amount of work you do. You can partner with someone and start that way, and then when you're ready to venture out on your own, you can venture out on your own. So there's a lot of ways for you to get in there. But if you don't have that much money, arbitraging something, a property would be a great way to start as well.
I love it. Since another question I have for you, because in Belize we always say it's the who you know, not the what you know, and or how you do it, right? But you get into MTR, short-term rental. Do you know anyone who can help you to get started in this area, or did you just figure everything out by yourself?
So I had that Asian thing that I had to figure everything on my own. And I was like, I have to figure it out on my own. So I go out there, I know how to do it already before I advertise myself to doing that. So I don't think that it's the best way to go, because it has given me, I don't want to say a hard time, but it's taken me a long time to hone that, field. But if you have someone helping you, mentoring you, guiding you through, you would grow exponentially. I believe that everyone needs to connect with someone. And if you want to grow, you will grow on your own, but you will grow exponentially if you're teamed with someone. So connecting with people who already know the business. I was like too shy to even go to someone. So just break off your barrier and just go to someone. If you know someone that is doing it already, just go for it. Just ask them questions and stuff. Because I had that fear before. I was so shy. I don't, I don't want to be, it's more of me. I was embarrassed. I'm pretty sure if I asked that person, they would give me the answer, but it was just me holding myself back. And so, yeah, if you know of anyone that is doing it already, make sure you ask, because more people, the more head in the game, the better. Because it's just your growth is going to be more when you do it like that. Yeah.
But you are able to figure this out all by yourself and able to grow all of this within 1.5 years. To me, it's already seems to be an exponential growth.
I was lucky. I was like lucky. My husband is there to guide me through. We're both in sub two, but I see a property when I look at like an investment opportunity, I tell him, "Oh, can we do this? This he's the numbers guy. He's like, "See a property, and this is what we can do," and then I give it to him. It's like, "Oh, okay, it's a go or it's a no or something like that." So it's nice to have a partner who is supportive. My husband is very supportive. He's actually the one who encouraged me to be in real estate. I wasn't really into it before because I don't like doing money and your debt. Where are we gonna get the money to pay all those houses? But he was able to figure it out. He was able to encourage me, showed me all these videos of bigger pockets and pace. And so I was like, okay. So I just jumped in and head first, and here we are right now. Yeah.
This is amazing. And what's your favorite book?
Favorite book. It's Tuesdays with Maury. I'm like emotional that way, but it's just seizing the moment and making sure you live the life that you want.
How can our audience reach out to you if they want to learn from you how you get all this rental portfolio, or they want to partner with you? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
So I'm on Facebook, but I'm on Instagram as well. It's Celeste Samonte, but it's Cashflow Mama. The Mama is MOMMA. So Cashflow Mama, MOMMA. And then I'm on Facebook, and you can reach me on my YouTube channel, which is Celeste Samonte. Yeah, you can reach me at salessolutionsnow@gmail.com.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Celeste. It's such an honor to have you today in our show, and I really appreciate that you share your knowledge and expertise with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for everything that you do.